We're going into Soweto, and what you're going to see today is what most tourists don't see. We're actually going to see young people. Most of them are orphan or vulnerable because of the HIV/AIDS pandemic. It is a Saturday morning, and the kids will be there working hard on their academics and life skills so that they can move out of the cycle of poverty. This road divides the colored township from the African township, the Soweto. This is a colored township here, and a lot of the Africans have moved over to this side, but you won't see the colored people moving to the Soweto side. Psychology of oppression and apartheid classified people into different categories, and some colored still feel that they're better than blacks. And now they're upset because with a black government, they feel that they're still not getting their fair share of the pie. Soweto stands for Southwestern Townships, and there are about 4 to 5 million people living here. We're going into Dube, which is one of the older townships of Soweto, where a lot of the prominent figures from the struggle movement lived, like Mandela and Sisulu. When you look at the demographics of Soweto, you're talking about people who are extremely poor. Average household income is about 1,000 rands a month. Traffic in Soweto on a Saturday morning is very, very busy because you have lots of funerals. Number one reason is the HIV/AIDS pandemic. Lots of young people are dying, mothers and fathers. And as they die, they're leaving children behind, and no one's looking after the children. They say by 2010, there'll be 3 million orphans in South Africa, and I think the number is going to be much higher. If somebody told me 6 months before I was going to move to South Africa and live there, I'd tell them they were crazy. I was living in Washington, D.C., had a very comfortable job. In '93, delegations from South Africa came over to talk to people to see how we Americans did things as they were preparing for their new democracy. And because of the job I had in the mayor's office, I met with them and facilitated them getting answers to the questions they raised. And they kept insisting I should come to South Africa. I worked in the 4 poorest provinces in the country where schools didn't have classrooms. They taught under trees. And kids who were a little older, high school age level, were basically persuaded to not continue with education but get a job to help feed the family. Coming to Soweto and looking at the poverty, it was easy to come here. The need was here. I felt that the kids who lived in shacks and back rooms were the ones who needed the most help. I saw this cycle of poverty continuing. So after 5 years of working in the country, I wanted to just help one learner, one student. So when I did the budget and found out how much it cost to educate a high school kid in the township, I looked at my budget and my finances and decided I was going to help 5 kids out of my own pocket. The number quickly grew to 17 because I made a commitment to these kids. And because for the first time they started to trust somebody, to open up to somebody, I couldn't abandon them and reject them, so I dug deeper in my own pockets. I almost lost my house a couple of times because I would rather pay for school shoes and textbooks and school trips rather than pay my mortgage.
I need school shoes.
You need school shoes? What size?
Size 5.
Size 5?
Most people from the community, from Soweto, who can help us, they don't have time for us. He taught me something in life, that you need to love, you need to help. Can't only help by money, but give time to people as he has done to me. I never knew my father, but he became a father to me. I never had somebody that I can trust, that I can talk to, but he came and I was able to talk to him, you know. He showed me love, which is something that I never experienced before. And for that, I think I'll always be thankful.
We glorify your name. I never knew my mother because she passed away while I was probably 5 years. last year I just lost my father. He passed away, so I'm staying alone. I had quite a low self-esteem, but then when I came into the program in the trust, I learned about how to be proactive. I learned about how to be assertive. Therefore, those things help me even today to stand for myself, to know what I have to say, not to have fear when I'm talking to anyone. Anyway, to actually have that confidence within me.
Teboho, you guys walk them home. I want to see you moving. Move. Huh? Yeah. Walk the girls home. I pay taxi drivers to transport the kids to and from school. When I'm here on Saturdays, I personally drive the girls home. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want to have to get a phone call that they've been raped. The value of life for girls and women are not respected by some of the boys and the men in the community. And to be proactive, rather than have any girl harmed, try to make a way to make sure they get home safely. June 16, 1976, students were told they had to be taught all of their subjects in Afrikaans. And the students basically said no. They wanted to protest. They came into the streets. They left all the various schools around Soweto. The first kid to be shot by the police, it happened right here, Hector Peterson. And there's a picture that was shown all over the world the following day of this kid dead being carried by a bigger kid. Mandela in '92 had the tombstone erected with the ANC Youth League to pay honor and tribute to the struggle and the young people who gave their lives for democracy, for freedom. Phew. I get very hurt. I get very sad. And I get frustrated because these people who died and those who survived are in their 40s and are neglecting the least of the flock, the children who are being orphaned and vulnerable because of HIV/AIDS. I got a wonderful job offer to go back to the States, Washington, D.C. But I thought about these kids and all the things that I've said to them. And if I left, what would happen to them? So that was another way of God telling me I'm stuck here. And I don't mind it at all because I love each and every one of them.